To focus on UI and a little bit of UX. And my philosophy is that all UI is UX. It's UI communicates information and communicates affordances. So they, if not work hand in hand, are ultimately effectively the same thing. It's just one's an abstraction of the other. But if you're anything like me, I'm okay at UI design, and I understand some basic principles, and I can put something together fairly well. But when I see good UI designers, I realize that I am squarely a user researcher and UX designer, and that maybe there are people out there who are very talented at UI design, and I have a lot of respect for them. So if you are a UI designer growing into UI design, this may be a good week for you. If you're a UX designer, user researcher, it may be an opportunity for you to sort of stretch your skills, grow some empathy for the people around you. Um, at a minimum, maybe you're producing some nice things for your portfolio, maybe not as case studies, but maybe as interactive elements that you can use to help guide people around your page. So the first one is redesigning an app icon using either skeuomorphic or flat design principles. And I would say if you want to follow some other principle, some combination of these, what have you, just pick it intentionally. Maybe go into Discord and say, hey, this today I'm going to tackle this particular type of design for my icon, just to put yourself on the hook and give yourself that challenge that you can then pursue. And if you have a hard time thinking of a particular icon to use, maybe pick something that's used frequently or something that you see obviously needs some help. There are two articles here. One is the topic on IXDF about skeuomorphism. It's relatively short. And the other is a video from maybe Nielsen Norman. Apologize for the noise in the background. Yeah, Nielsen Norman, where they're talking about skeuomorphism as a concept and sort of do's and don'ts. So this should be a fun one, relatively quick, and sort of get as far as you can, get as refined as you can, where you feel good about it, you feel like you stretched and challenged your muscles enough. Um, Number two is establish a clear typography hierarchy for a blog post layout. And typography is something that I don't think UX designers, UI designers, well, UI designers do, but UX designers don't necessarily have to approach as frequently. But it is definitely a way to test yourself and grow some empathy for those around you. Typography is just a difficult thing to do expertly. And when you see it done well, you really notice it. But choose a topic, uh, define at least three text styles. So headline, subheading, body text. You can do H1, H2, H3. Uh, you can do block quotes. If you want to do more than three, you can. Consider the readability and contrast and spacing. So the kerning and the leading and the characters per line, things of that nature. There are two things to help you here. One is the topic on typography, and it's fairly big and it's good. It's a really good resource for typography. Um, I had a full 16-week course in typography, and I think this more or less covers it, minus all of the hard exercises we had to do. And then there's another article on it and talking about visual hierarchy on in experiences. So it's more of like typography for UX designers. Super helpful. Number three is sketch three distinct layout options for a product detail page. So in this master detail view or list record view, this would be the detail. This would be the record view. So this would be an individual item and all the details on the item. So it could be the specifications, it could be photos, it could be description, checkout triggers, things of that nature. And focus on different user needs. So what does the user need relative to the product you're providing, who they are, what they would need to evaluate the product, and how to potentially evaluate it and check out. Yeah, just create three different layouts. It shouldn't be difficult. You can do these if you want on pen and paper. That's fine. You can use balsamic or rough wireframing for Figma. If you want to go high fidelity, you can. Whatever you're most comfortable working in. And there are three articles here from IXDF just about layouts. the first one is grid systems. The other two are just general layout principles. So one has the golden ratio, and the other one is know your sweet spots. So it should be super helpful in just getting an idea. And maybe you sketch them first, and then you look at these and you sketch them again, whatever works for you. Okay, number 4 here is recreate the interface of a popular app using only black and white. This is a fun exercise, and it'll test you. So choose a well-known app and redesign just a single screen. Pick something relatively, I say moderately complicated, but you can go simple if that's what you need to do. Focus on layout, contrast, and usability without relying on color cues. And I think for this one, if you really want to stretch yourself, use black and white only. If you want a little bit of flexibility, use grayscale, but stay out of color. There is an article here on mobile UX design from IXDF that's helpful, but there are a number of resources. If you just go to the search for the Interaction Design Foundation, you type in mobile design, there'll be a number of articles to help you out there. And the last one here is design a button with 3 interactive states, so default, hover, and pressed. If you want to add any others, such as like a loading or something along those lines, you're more than welcome to. But I would say put a lot of attention to this. This should be, this is something you can get done in 3 minutes if you wanted to. But give a little extra attention to it and really think through it. Maybe find a particular context you want to use it for. Like I said, maybe with your portfolio, you want to change all your buttons and really sit down and think about it instead of, if you, like I did, use cam buttons. Um, Maybe this is your opportunity to explore it a bit and do something that interestingly matches your brand. There's an article here on button states from UXPin, and this is the Discord link where we're doing the design challenges. But so these all seem like a lot of fun. They could be very quick, but they could also be sort of very time consuming. And do whatever you feel is best. Give it the effort that you want to. Sometimes with things like this, it's good to put something down on paper and then step away from it, come back, step away from it, come back, and go through iterations. Um, but yeah, just do what you can to make this or these the best you can. And if you're not a UI designer at heart, stretch yourself a little bit. It could be a fun challenge. You might learn a lot by doing research on what other people are doing. So, and very, very, very good luck this week. If when you get your things done, please post them in the Discord so we can all see them and talk about them. Right now it's fairly quiet, but it would be really great to see some content there and some thoughts on how you're doing.